All right, welcome back to Hot Topics, y'all. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Listen, if anything about this story, if you take away anything from this or don't, at least take this away. The society in which we live is probably not as safe as you think it is. And if you're one of those people that are really guarded and you think, hell, we live in a dangerous society, well, you need to think that it's even more dangerous than you already thought it was. I remember when this story broke and it said that a couple was riding their bicycles, out enjoying the late night warm weather in Florida, and some random person ran up on them, stabbed them multiple times, slit both of their throats, dragged them out of the street into a corner and left them there. And just left them there. And I thought, damn, is this for real? There's got to be more to this story than this. There's no way this can just be a random act of violence. Well, fast forward today, not only was it a white couple and it was a black man that did it, which of course always puts a whole different set of mix-up in the mix-up. But it was a brother, man. But just the horrificness of what took place. Now, Daytona Beach police announced an arrest was made in the horrific deaths of a married couple that was killed last weekend. Gene Robert McCain, 32 years old, was arrested on Thursday at approximately 11 a.m. outside of his home on Point Vista Circle in Orlando, Florida, where he lives. Daytona Beach Police Chief Jakari Young tweeted that McCain was taken into custody with the help of U.S. Marshals, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and Orlando Police Department. At a news conference Thursday night, Young said that McCain arrived in Daytona Beach by bus on Saturday during the famous and popular Bike Week. It's the week where all the bikes come out and, motorcycles are everywhere, and I mean thousands of them. And there are a lot of bars open and people do a lot of partying. The beach is nearby, all this other stuff. It's just that kind of stuff that people look forward to every year. And it's busy. A whole lot goes down at Bike Week in Daytona. He arrived there by bus. No bike, but he's at Bike Week. And he left the area on Sunday. So he arrived Thursday night and he was gone by Sunday. Police says that McCain was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the killing of 48-year-old Terry Altman and 55-year-old Brenda Altman, which was a married couple. Investigators says that the victims were married and they were riding their bikes home from Main Street when they were attacked. Everyone can now breathe a sigh of relief. The suspects responsible for committing these heinous crimes, he is now in custody. A lot of people are scared in that area. They're not used to stuff like this happening around that area. So they thought, okay, maybe we have a serial killer on the loose or somebody who is going to do this again and again and again until they're caught. So people started taking precautions, carrying their guns, being a bit more vigilant than normal. And now they've caught the person. Young said that there was evidence recovered that was related to the stabbings, but he did not go into the details of what evidence they found. They didn't deserve what happened to them. Brenda's daughter, Sarah Turner, said, of course, through tears, "Get this monster off the streets." There are still a lot of unanswered questions about the stabbing deaths of the Altmans, Young said. Police have not yet determined what the motive is. It is still a random, senseless act of violence and should have never occurred. This is just a reminder of the evil that exists in our society. A bevy of tips and surveillance footage led investigators to believe that this person, McCain, was responsible. Young described the investigation as 105 hours of relentless pursuit. Young said that McCain has a criminal history but his criminal history is mostly related to drugs. His records shows that he's had one felony arrest and two misdemeanor arrests in the past, including one drug charge from about 2016 and another one in 2019 that were both dropped. McCain is now being questioned by the investigators in the fugitive unit at Orlando Police Headquarters in Florida, and they're trying to get to the bottom of this. Why? What people want to know more than anything else is why. Did you have some kind of altercation with this couple? Were you guys involved in something? Was this a drug deal gone wrong? What the hell happened? Or are you someone who is just sick in the head and just did this random act of unforgivable, unretractable violence? You don't just run upon strangers, stab them multiple times, and then slit their throats, and then walk away like nothing happened. The victims were found Sunday morning in the 700 block of North Wild Olive Avenue with multiple stab wounds and lacerations. Authorities confirmed the identity of the pair as 48-year-old Terry Altman and 55-year-old Brenda Altman, his wife. The couple was found on the side of the road. We found two people dead. Blood everywhere. The 911 caller stated that they found the man laying face down on his chest and the woman laying face up on her back in a grassy area next to the sidewalk. Police says that at first they thought it was a hit and run, but then they saw that both persons had their throats slashed. Investigators says that the victims were married and that they were riding their bike home from the festivities that were happening in the area, the annual festivities of Bike Week on Main Street. Police were baffled by this crime, and they were unable to determine exactly what the motive was. This is probably one of the most vicious and gruesome incidents that I've witnessed in my 20 years, says Chief Jakari Young. We can't rule out that this was or may be totally random. That's what he said at the time. But if it is totally random, the person who is responsible has to be a deranged person. We believe they were followed by this person, and based on what we're looking at, they were followed. Police says that they do not think that this was a robbery. They think that this was just about the rage and violence. The only information that they have about the suspect at the time is that it's a man who was possibly wearing some light-colored pants and had a backpack with him. A video of the person of interest was released to the public. We obviously know that we are looking for a black male. He is very stocky. He is in shape, and we're trying to focus on tattoos and significant markings of that nature. The chief said that he doesn't believe that the person is from Daytona Beach, but recent surveillance footage leads them to believe that he might still be in the area. The chief says that he appears to be a loner and a potential transient, an issue that residents believe is causing many issues in recent years. We believe that they were followed based on what we're looking at. They were followed. Person of interest appears to have been on foot, stabbed the victims multiple times, even slashing their throats, prompting the question of whether the murder appeared to have special training because of the way how it was done. Now we're waiting. I'm waiting to find out how was he able to do it, because let's be for real. If me and my wife or my partner or my friend are riding our bikes out in the streets and someone jumps out the bushes or comes out the blue and starts stabbing one of us, you never know. He might have said, "Excuse me, hey, could you give me some directions to so-and-so?" And, being good people, they stopped and they're like, "Yeah, you just want to go down left and make a right on Elmer Street." And before you know it, a knife is plunged into your chest, right? he must have done something for them to stop and engage him for him to carry this out. And then while he stabbed the first one, the second one is like, I'm not leaving my partner behind. I'm going to help to fight you off. And he overpowered the second person as well. That's the only way that could have happened. Other than that, if you approach me and I'm with someone and we're out for a bike ride at 2 in the morning, coming from some festivities that's nearby, the minute you stab the person I'm with, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? It's better. Somebody's got to live to tell this tale, and I'm on a bike, so you're not catching me. And I'm riding away with speed to go get help. Sad to say, but there's no sense in me staying there and us both getting slashed up. But the way how he did it and was able to do it so quickly and so precisely has law enforcement officials thinking that this person might have some special type of training. This kind of reminds me of like those karate movies or those gangster movies from overseas where you hear swing, 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 just blades slinging, and before you know it, 10 stab wounds and a slit throat. We're going to stay close to this one because I want to know what this person's background is, and I definitely want to know the motive as to why he did what he did. Now, Brenda Altman's daughter, she told West 2 News that she's horrified by this tragedy, and she said that her mother was her best friend. She said that her mother and her stepdad, they were the most beautiful, fun-loving people you'd ever seen. Residents in the area were on nerve, to say the least. Jesse Dillon lives next door to the Altmans. He said that the couple had purchased their home just 6 months ago and that they were beyond happy to have purchased their home 6 months ago. They walked to the beach every day. It was like their dream house. They bought bicycles. They just bought a Jeep. They were loving it, man. They loved the neighborhood. They loved the beach was close by. He was a responsible guy. They even took bicycles because he was drinking. They left the car, left his motorcycle here, left their cars, left their truck. It's a real shame what happened to them, you know? Family members have created a GoFundMe page for fundraisings to help put this funeral together and give them a good send-off. And this is most unbelievable situation, and the only way I can cope is by disassociating, so I can keep a clear, rational mental state to get through this the best way that I can. I feel like I'm outside of my body, witnessing everything from above. Please keep my family in your thoughts and prayers during this devastating time in our lives. Nothing will ever be the same again. We're all broken. We're destroyed, inside and out. I pray to God that they find the suspect and that justice be served for my beautiful parents. These were the last people on earth to deserve this. They had so much life ahead of them, is what the message on the GoFundMe page said. Man, listen, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you think that the world is just a nice place, then you might want to rethink that. There's a lot of crazies around you, and it can go down at any minute. Stay safe out there. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Or if you've had any run-ins that made you say, whew, I know I escaped death. Catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. I'm out. Peace.